What up, what up? So in this video, I want to talk about the perfect conditions to start your business here in Africa. The perfect time. Is there a perfect time? Are there perfect conditions to start your business over here in Africa? This video is kind of inspired by this lady that I saw on my Instagram. I was scrolling on Instagram that I saw a video of a lady that started her business. I think it's an Airbnb business over there in Ethiopia. And she was talking about some of the problems that she experienced when she was starting a business. She was talking about she had to experience the wars and internet blackouts. I'm like, this sounds like my story right there. Not the war part, but quite close to it. I realized something. In life, there's no perfect time to do anything. That's the sad reality of life. You have to force yourself. If you have a dream, if you have something that you've been dreaming about doing, you have a goal, you have no choice but to force yourself to get it done. You have to force yourself to achieve that goal by any means necessary. There are no perfect conditions. Just look at what's happening all across the world. There's instability across the world right now. There's instability in Europe, instability in the United States. Maybe the only place there's no instability is parts of the Middle East. Parts of the Middle East like Qatar, Dubai. It's quite peaceful. I guess that's why a lot of people are flocking to Dubai to start a business, because there's so much peace in Dubai right now. And there's a bunch of people that got money in Dubai. So there's a market for it. But the way I look at doing business is focusing on solving problems that people are willing to pay for. Yeah, it might be easier to do business in Dubai, but there are people here in Africa that got money. There are people in South Africa that got money. There are people that are in Tanzania, Kenya, that have money. Nigeria that have money. Ghana that have money. Egypt that have money. Can you solve the problems that they're experiencing, that they're willing to pay you good money for? That's really how you should be looking at this business thing. Because ultimately, it does not matter, to some extent, it does not matter what country you're in, except for the war-torn countries, of course, where things are not functioning completely. But if there's some level of infrastructure in that country and some level of functionality in that economy, you will make money from solving problems. And even if the economy is not that perfect, there's an opportunity to still make money. I used an example of like Mogadishu. And I've never been to Mogadishu before. But, for a long time, people have been talking really badly about Mogadishu. But I'm willing to bet you there's somebody over there in Mogadishu that's making good money off of selling water, probably, going from neighborhood to neighborhood selling people water. And he's getting paid. He's solving a problem right there that people are willing to pay for. The point is, there are no perfect conditions. There's no perfect time to start your business over here in Africa. There's something that's called Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law is everything that is supposed to go wrong will most likely go wrong. And that's the truest thing ever. And that's one thing you will learn when you're attempting to do business over here in Africa. But when things do go wrong, you have to look at that as a learning lesson. Unfortunately, when most people are hit with the first obstacle, they completely fold. They fold and they give up. They completely tap out. They're like, I knew it. This is the reason why I left this job in the first place. Don't say that. And I've heard a bunch of Africans saying that. I've heard a bunch of people who, mostly from YouTube. I watched a bunch of YouTubers or YouTube content creators that have come to Africa here, tried to start a farming business, tried to start a poultry business, tried to get into real estate, and completely fail. And then on the first attempt, and then they just completely give up and they say, you know what, it's not working. Let me go back to the UK. What I've noticed is like the issue is not always the location. The issue might be you guys. It might be you. Yes, the location has a lot to do with why you failed, most likely, but there's still people that are making money in that country, aren't they? What is it about you? Because you're the common denominator. If you're not able to find success in the UK and you come over here to, let's say, Africa, right? And you're not able to find success here, the common denominator is you. It's you. Sometimes it requires you to self-reflect and ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing wrong here? Yes, Murphy's Law is a real thing. I promise you, even for me, there's so many things that I had meticulously planned before I started business over here in Africa. I overplanned. I had plan A, B, and C. And guess what? Murphy's Law decided to kick in and kick my ass and told me, oh, Mr. Chibore, you got plan A, B, and C, huh? You smart ass. Well, let's see. Let's see what you're going to say when I completely disrupt all these three plans all at the same time. Let's see how you're going to survive in this. I got nothing to fall back to. It's not like if things fall apart here, right? These business ventures that I'm working on, it's not like if these things don't work, I can fall back to like driving Uber or anything. I can't do that because the money is not going to be significant. It's not going to be worth my while to do that. But in Atlanta, I could fall back to that. I could deliver, Uber Eats, drive for Uber, maybe, a couple of gigs here and there. If things, don't work out, if I'm doing business over there. But here, I don't have that luxury like that. I don't. So I have to make it work. And this is what separates the winners from the losers. The winners are willing to do whatever it takes to deliver the results. Whatever it takes. What does it take for you to deliver the results? Even after Murphy's Law kicks in, it's one domino after another. Right now I'm in Tanzania. I'm currently in Tanzania. We had an election, end of October. We had mass unrest here. Where internet got shut down. The same day that the internet got shut down, I had a business call that I had to make. So I lost money. Because that person thought that I'd ghosted them and they moved on to do business with somebody else. So I lost money, even though just in those 3 days I lost money. Because I couldn't communicate with my clients. I couldn't communicate with anybody outside of Tanzania. The internet was not working. My work is dependent mostly on the internet. So I couldn't earn. So I had to be creative. There's certain things that I have to put in place now, certain systems that I have to put in place now, so that if anything like this happens to me again, I know exactly how to move. Such as, if I hear that there's an election going on in any African country, I better leave. Then come back when things are good. That's the other thing I always recommend. When you're doing business here in Africa, do not rely on one economy. You're going to be in big trouble. If you're relying on just one economy, one country, and you think you're going to survive in the 21st century, you're kidding yourself. You need at least 3 economies that you're relying on. I have 3 here in Africa, and I'm about to add my 4th, which is most likely going to be Dubai very soon. Most likely. But currently, I'm relying on 3 economies. And I want to add Dubai to that. So that's how you got to move in this new 21st century. Because we're now in a global economy. The days of just saying, I'm going to make my money in Kenya only, you're playing yourself. That's not a recipe for generational wealth. Because things do happen. Things happen. When I was going to school in Kenya back in the day, 25 years ago almost, this was a different era. Kenya was a completely different place. Different leadership, all of that. I remember how difficult it was, you know. But now things are a little bit different. So just know, if you're trying to build a generational business, generational wealth, just understand economies change, countries change. My own country, Zimbabwe, it's a completely different place from what I grew up. Completely different place. But if I just rely on that economy for the next, let's say, 50 years or 20, 30 years, I'll be in big trouble. I need to diversify. I can't just operate just in that economy. I can't just operate in Kenya only. I can't just operate in Tanzania only. I can't just operate in Dubai only. I can't just operate in America only. Look what's happening in America right now. If I didn't have Africa to fall back on, America's going through it. Murphy's Law is a real thing now. It's a real thing. Listen, there will be days where you start to want to give up. Like I said, there's so many content creators, there's so many people that have attempted to do business over here in Africa. They completely give up. Giving up is not an option. When you get hit with all of these obstacles, Murphy's Law kicking in, you have to look at that as an opportunity to be better. Let us say you were attempting to do your business in agriculture. Let's say you was trying to start a farming business. You're farming tobacco, I'm just saying. Right? And then you fail. Use that as an opportunity to teach other people that are interested in coming back to Africa to farm tobacco. What are some of the things that you did wrong that they could learn from? And consult people that are trying to get into that same market. So utilize your losses to your advantage. That's how you win in the game of business. Of course, when you're winning, you celebrate your wins. But let me keep it real with you. In business, there'll be more losses than there are wins. You will get more losses in business than you will get wins. You could get like 9 losses in a row, but it takes that one, the 10th one, to be a winner. And then it'll offset all the 9 losses you've had. It's a wonderful game, though. It's a wonderful game. Because when you win after 9 losses, you got to look at those 9 losses like learning lessons. So like, oh, okay, I messed up over here. I got scammed over there. I dealt with the wrong guy over there. I did it wrong this way. And then you perfect your process. So that by the 10th attempt, that's a tongue twister right there. By the 10th attempt, you get a winner. That's how you win in business. So there are no perfect conditions to start your business over here. It just requires you to keep going. Just keep going. You just gotta keep going and believing in yourself. It's the only way. There will be days where you want to give up. I know. There will be days. Oh yeah, there will be days. Been there, done that. But don't give up. You gotta keep going. If you're ready to work with the best and you're ready to start your business over here in Africa, you don't know what niche you want to get into. Maybe you already do. You don't know what country you want to operate in. Maybe you do. Either way, you need a business coach. You need somebody that knows how to navigate the toughest markets and win out here. My favorite thing is to do business in tough markets because other people don't want to do it. Nobody wants to come do business in Zimbabwe like that. But I'll do it. Well, except for Zimbabweans. But I'll do it. It's a challenging market, but I'll do it because I've seen the potential in it. So, if you're ready to make your money, by the way, I gotta say this one more thing, this one more point, one point. I have seen people make so much money in small towns, it'll blow your mind. The capital city of, and I've said this before in a video, the capital city of whatever country you're trying to operate in is not always going to be where the opportunity is. You might discover that the opportunity is in a third tier city of that country, the third largest city, the fourth largest city in that country. I always use Kisumu as an example, or Bulawayo in Zimbabwe as an example, or Francistown in Botswana as an example. What else? What other country? What's the second largest city in Zambia? I don't know. What's the second largest city in Zambia? If you guys know, yeah, that's where the real money is made because nobody wants to operate there, but there are people there with money. If you're ready to work with the best, and you're ready to make your money here in Africa, schedule time. You need a coach. This will be a paid consultation. This means that you get to work with the best coach. I'll help you with your branding. I'll help you even with the setup processes, picking your niches, how to promote your business online. Because if your business is not on this, it's not visible on this, it doesn't exist. For the most part, it doesn't exist. Okay? Schedule time. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Talk to you soon.